In this video, I'll show you how to set up a product data feed for your Google Merchant Center account to power Google Shopping ads. And I'm going to do that using a free method, which is Google Sheets. And I'm going to do it again with a paid method, which is a third-party data feed management tool called DataFeedWatch. So we'll jump right in here. I've got my Merchant Center account. There's already some products that are in here. We're going to add these again for practice. So in my Merchant Center account, I will go to the gear icon at the top right, and then data sources to add a data source. And then I don't have anything here right now, so I'm going to click add a product source, and I'm going to do use Google Sheets. And you can see there's a template down below, so I'll click on use template. Now I've got a template ready to go that Google's provided, complete with examples in rows 2 and 3, and then instructions in row 2. And I can see that there's quite a bit here. Now, you don't have to do all of this. For a lot of products, you're not required to put in all of these different attributes. But for our case, I've already made a template here for our demo shop, which is a shoe store. So we have these made up shoes. These aren't real products. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and fill that out into a sheet that I've already a template that I've already prepared. And so I've got my ID, my title, and I've got a description. And then some of these fields, you'll see that there is a drop-down menu where you have to choose from predefined values. So availability has to be in stock, out of stock, pre-order, or back order. Then I have my link, like the link to the actual product page where you can purchase the product, the image link, then the price. Importantly, the price is formatted with a space and then the currency code in all caps. So if you click on any one of these links that's up in the ready-made template from Google, it'll take you to the product or the page that describes that attribute. So price, we have a nice description here and then a demonstration of where you'll see the price. So there's a couple sections in each one of these articles: when to use, format, minimum requirements. Typically, format's the first place to check. So format, I can see that I have to enter it in as a numerical value with 2 decimal places and then a space followed by that currency code. So if you're in a different country like Canada, it'd be CAD, and so on. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the template I have, and we'll fill out a few more things. So identifier exists. That's a way of saying, does this product have a barcode or a UPC, a GTI, basically a GTIN number or not? Let's first look at a GTIN number to make sense of that. So I'll look at this article, and this is the GTIN. It is either a UPC, an EAN, JAN, ISBN. Really anything that is stuck on the product as a barcode, that will be your GTIN. Now, if you don't have a GTIN, let's say you're producing print-on-demand t-shirts. In that case, you won't have one unless you've purchased a barcode, which is great. You can put it in here in that case. But if you don't have a barcode, you can either select identifier exists no to indicate that you do not have a GTIN code, or you can just leave it blank. That's the same thing. Now, if you don't have a GTIN code, you have to take some special steps, which it's quite easy actually. So I'll scroll all the way down. There's typically an additional guidelines section in these articles where you can read about what to do in specific circumstances that don't fit what we've been given in the template. So let's say if we're a store brand or a private label product producer that we might not buy barcodes for our products, then here's some information on what to do in that case. So instead, we can submit a brand and an MPN number in place of the GTIN number. So let's go back and do that. So I've already made up an MPN number, and then I put in my brand name here. So those two pieces of data together can replace the GTIN. If a GTIN exists somewhere and you just don't have it, that won't work because Google will understand that this is a product that should have a GTIN code, and they'll see that you don't have one, and that will cause problems with Google's technology to match which product you're carrying against competitors who are carrying the same product. So if you do have a product that has a barcode or an ISBN number, anything that's within that GTIN category, then you'll have to add that. All right, so there's quite a bit more here. We're not going to fill all of it out, but I would recommend taking a look at some of these attributes because there's quite a lot that you can add to enhance your product data. So I'm going to fill out a couple more. I have a new product. This is not an adult product. I'm going to leave it blank. If something doesn't apply and it does not say required, you can just leave it blank. That's the same as answering no. I put in my color, size, gender, material. And again, I could go on, but these are not required. So if I were to go back to my template that's still filled out, you can see that there's more information on what is required and what is not. And we did these. Now let's go back over to color, size, and gender. You can see that it is required for apparel products. And shoes are considered apparel, so I have to put those in. All right. So now that I've got these in here and this is filled out, I don't actually need to add anything else here except for age group. So I don't have age group in here. Like these attributes like size, gender, material, age group is required. Let's pull that up here. We'll go to age group. Oh, there it is right in front. Okay, so age group will go back down to when to use for all apparel and accessories. So I can see that I need this for shoes as well. And I can scroll down some more and I'll see the supported values under the format section. So we have to enter in either of these options. So I'm going to choose adult because this product, it means adult in the sense that the user of the product will be 13 years or older. So I'll go back to my template here and I'll just insert somewhere age group because the template for some reason doesn't include that. And then I'll type in adult. All right. So now I should be good to go. So I'm going to copy this and then I'll go back to Merchant Center and then I'll do choose an existing spreadsheet. Okay, so then I'll just paste in my file and then I can see it there. So I'll click on that, insert, make sure that you select the country if it's not already pre-selected. And we're going to do English because that's the language of our website and the language of the feed. And then I want all these marketing methods. So free, shopping ads, and display. Free ads show people a image and price and a link to your product in like maybe the Google Images search results or maybe in the Google Shopping search results, but down below the sponsored ads. So we want free included. Shopping ads are the paid ads, and then display ads would be like display remarketing ads. You'll probably want to just start with all of them. So I'll click save, continue. And then on this screen, we'll have to wait for the product data to process. And it can take from just a few minutes to quite a long time, depending on how many products you have. Okay, so here's our product. And I can see that one is included. And I do have a little error here that's reminding me that I had submitted this product previously through a different feed. This error will go away because that other feed is deleted, so I'm going to ignore that for now. So let's just close this, and I'm going to go all the way back to products. And then it might take a little while, but I should see that product in here shortly. Okay, and here's my product, and I can see that it's that same product ID, and then I can see that it's not approved. And if you've submitted your feed for the first time and it says not approved, don't worry because it's probably just pending review. But I'm going to click into this and see if there's other errors. Okay, so needs attention. So I haven't claimed this in Merchant Center. I'm not going to claim the website in Merchant Center on this video because that's a different topic. We're just focusing on setting up the product feed for now. But you'll have to verify the store. And then, yeah, I just got pending initial review and then image under review. If I had forgotten, for example, to put in the age group, I would have seen that as a warning here as well. But I've done that, so I'm good. All right. Now, keep in mind, if you're setting up a feed for the first time, you'll probably also see errors about shipping and tax. So I've already set up my shipping, and I'll show you how I did that here. I made a free shipping policy, and I'll click through that right now. So let's call it free shipping. I'll just call it demo. This is for the United States. I'll hit continue. I'll do this shipping will apply to all the products in the catalog. And then the next step is the time taken to deliver. So you could select by carrier if you're using, let's say you're always using UPS for your regular shipping, and then maybe FedEx for next day or 2-day shipping. You could select those and set up 2 shipping settings by carrier. So I'm going to just do manual because we're doing a free shipping setting. So order cutoff time, if someone orders by 2 p.m. in Pacific time zone, then their order will be processed according to these times that I'll set down below. And if they order after 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then this clock basically will start the next day and not the day of the order. So our handling time, we'll just pretend it's 0 to 1 day for us to get them sent out. We fulfill products from Monday through Saturday. The transit time to any destination, I'm going to estimate it's going to take, let's see, actually 2 to 6 days. And if you get this little error here, just keep putting it in. All right. Now here's the estimated time that will be shown to shoppers when they see our ad on Google Shopping ads. And this has to be accurate, so you can't underestimate this. So let's say I wanted to pretend that our shipping is faster than it is to encourage people to purchase from us. Now, if people start getting the products in more than 5 days, that would be a problem. People complain. So Google doesn't want that doesn't want that experience for people that use Google Shopping to find products. So we have to be honest here. So I'm going to put this back to 5. I'll hit continue. Then this is shipping would be billed in USD if we were charging, but it's free. So we're going to leave that. Okay. And here's the summary. So I'm done here. And now I already had a shipping setting, so I'll just leave them both for now. Then that was shipping. The next step will be taxes. So in this case, again, I've already set it up, but what you would do, click on this and then just select all the states, because in the United States, at least, we're going to charge tax for people who shop in every state. And this tax rate will be quoted in the Google Shopping ad price when people see the Google Shopping ad. So I'm going to choose automatic based on the customer location. But if, for example, you know that in Alabama, maybe you have Nexus in this state and you want to specify a different tax rate, it's probably not 5% or 2%, it's probably some other number. But you could put that in manually. And then I'll just set it to automatic for now. But also, if you're charging tax on the cost of shipping, you would tick that button, and then Google would calculate tax on both the product cost and the shipping cost. So most cases that's not necessary. So I'm going to just leave this as is. I'll hit cancel because I already have that here, but you'll hit save if you're setting up for the first time. Now the only step left is for us to wait for the product to get approved. And that could take anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. It usually doesn't take that long. So we've done this now with the Google Sheet, and you can see that this could be pretty tedious setting up a product row for all the products in your store. Now, if you have just a few products on your store and the price never changes and they don't go in and out of stock, then this could work for you. But typically, you'll want a dynamic solution that will automatically pull in data based on the changes that you're making to your Shopify store. So if, for example, you changed this price from $15 to $20, you'll have to, on Shopify, you'll have to come back into Merchant Center and change that here. Or let's see, where's our availability? If something goes out of stock on the store, you'll have to actually come back here and switch this manually to out of stock. Then go back to Merchant Center, go to Data Sources, and then click Update. This will update once a day overnight, or once every day overnight, but that would be the method. If something goes out of stock, you'd want to update it right away so that you don't keep showing ads for an out-of-stock product. Now I'll show you how to do the same thing using a product data feed management tool. This is a paid platform, and we're going to use DataFeedWatch for this example. We're an affiliate for DataFeedWatch, so if you'd like to give it a try, you can use our referral link in the description below. We get a kickback if you use that link, and you get a longer trial period for your free trial with this software platform. So I'm not going to show you how to install this on your store because it's a little different whether you're using Shopify or BigCommerce or Magento, but it's not hard to set up at all. It's just like installing another app. And once it's installed, it'll download the products to DataFeedWatch. I can see that I've got 54 products here downloaded, and the shop status is okay. That means we're ready to go. So I can click into the shop. And normally the first time you set up a feed, it'll push you into the section called internal fields. In internal fields, you'll see a big list of required fields. And these are, just like we did with the Google Sheets, we have ID, title, description. We'll fill them all out just the same, but instead of typing them in manually, we're going to use rules to set them up. So for example, the first rule that I want to set up for ID, I want to change this. Right now, if I click preview, I'll see that the ID is set to the variant ID, which is this number. And if I were to go to this product page and then view source, and then if I were to search for VAR meta, that's all the metadata about the product. So you can see you've got the product object and then a couple properties in here. There's the ID property, which is that number. And if I scan over more to the right, I can find variant, and that's this number. So let's go back to DataFeedWatch and find that. Okay, that's this number. So we're assigning the variant ID from Shopify as the product ID in DataFeedWatch, which will then send to Merchant Center as the product ID. But what I want to do is I want to change this. So instead of using rename, I'm going to unlock this, and then I'll click rename. In the drop-down menu, I'll select combine, because what I want to do is actually format my ID like this. I want Shopify underscore and then the country code. And then I'm going to combine that by just typing in other fields here. I want the variant ID, and I'm going to make the separator an underscore so that once these three things are combined, they're separated by underscores. So I'll press preview. And now I can see Shopify underscore US underscore product group ID, that middle number, and then product variant ID, that last number. And the reason I'm doing that is because in DataFeedWatch, in Merchant Center, I already have a product set up with that format, and I don't want to change that format of the product ID, because if this item had historical clicks, which it doesn't, it has 0 here now, but you can imagine if this had, a couple hundred clicks, and I came in and I changed the product ID, even if the title and the price and the pictures and everything else were exactly the same, if I change that product ID, it's like telling Google that it's a brand new product, and so all that click history data will go away, and it'll be like restarting from scratch with a new product. So we don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm intentionally copying that format, and I'm using this format specifically because Google or Shopify's Google and YouTube app, this is where people usually start with their shopping ads. They'll install this, and this app will send product data to Google Merchant Center. And so because most store owners start with this app, and because this app follows that same Shopify underscore US underscore product ID, variant ID, that format, we don't want to change that. And so I just opt to always use that format, even if I'm making a brand new feed, but especially if I'm making a feed for a store that has been using this app in the past. I want to keep that same format. So I can do that with DataFeedWatch really easily. You can do it really easily with really any feed management tool, but it's much easier than doing it with Google Sheets. All right, so next I'm going to rename the title, and the title I think I'm fine with. If I click preview, I can see that the field coming from the Shopify data, basically the raw data from the store title, that's being assigned to the outcome value, which is the same in this case. So on the left, we always have the field name with a little icon. It's the DataFeedWatch icon. That's always on the left. And to the right, we always have the icon. That's the little shopping cart. The shopping cart represents data that is raw from the store. And the DataFeedWatch icon represents an internal field. So we're basically assigning this internal field title. We're renaming it to the raw data from the store. I mean, you could set this to anything. If you have an SEO title, let's see, you could set it to like a description tag. You could set it to really anything, but what makes sense for us right now is the title. And I'm going to go down and check out a couple more items. We won't do all of them for the sake of time. Description. The internal field for description I'm assigning to the input field body HTML. In Shopify, there's no description. There's a description tag, but the actual description of the product, which is all this down here, this is considered the description in most cases. In Shopify's backend, that's called the body HTML. So I'm going to set it to that, and then I'll hit preview. And you can see again on the left is the raw input field, and then we have the outcome value here. Now you can tell they're different here. There's some HTML in the input, and I wanted to remove that because we don't want to submit HTML to Google Merchant Center. It has no use for it. And so what I did is I used this edit button, and I used a regular expression that signifies that we're looking for any HTML markup. And then I ticked this use Regex, and then I set this to remove single value. There's other options here. For this, I'm going to use remove single value. I'm going to put in the regular expression to find HTML, and then I'll tick this button. And now that's removed. And I'll put that Regex code in the description so that you can use it if you need to as well. But this will depend on which platform you're starting on. If you're on BigCommerce, it might be a little different. Magento might be a little different. So you have to do this per field. But DataFeedWatch will automatically set what it knows is generally the correct choice, and then you'll just go through and edit like I'm doing now. All right, so with a product that has a lot of variants, so we've got our shoe, and then we've got it in black, and then we have size 9 through 13, and we have those same sizes per color. So we have a lot of variants, and I want to set this to the variant URL. This is our link where people will land once they click on the product ad. I want to set that to the variant URL because you can see here, this will push people to that exact variant. So let's say if I were to choose the blue size 12, you can see this variant number up here is changing when I select different variants. And so what you don't want to do is have someone, let's say they see the ad for the red shoe in Google Shopping results, but they click the ad and it just drops them to the parent product. We don't want that because we want the customer to land immediately on what they clicked on an ad for, so that way they don't have to reselect anything. They can just click add to cart, and that'll help your conversion rate. So in DataFeedWatch, we're setting this to the variant URL. If you don't have variants, you can just set this to the URL, or if for some reason you don't want to send people to different variants of your products, you can also choose to use just the URL. And then in that case, it'll push the user just to the parent product. You can see there's no variant appended to the back of that URL. But I want to do variant URL for this one, so we'll do that. All right, and then let's take a look at one more thing here that's important. So this will depend on the e-commerce platform you're using. Shopify makes a .myshopify or .com domain, but we want to remove that when we submit this data to Merchant Center. And so you can see it's been removed here, and the way it's been removed is with some more regular expressions. So I have, instead of remove single value, in this case, I've done replace single value, and then there's a regular expression that finds basically the URL, and then I'm just replacing that whole URL, I should say the domain, with the domain that does not include .myshopify.com. I'll put this code in the description below as well, but this won't apply if you're not using Shopify. You might have to do something a little different. All right, last thing that we'll look at here is the price. So I've already done some editing here. On the price, as we saw in the Google Sheet, you have to append space and then USD. You can see I have a little space here. You have to append that to the back of the price value because in Shopify, And in most e-commerce platforms, the price is just listed as a numeric value, but we have to append USD for it in this case. And if you were selling in a different country, you could change that. All right, so one last thing to look at here is we have a second price, and I want to explain what that is. So if I click preview, you'll see that our prices from the store, there's two of them. There's $15 and $20. So you can see right here, there's 15 and then there's 20. And the $20 price is sometimes it's called the MSRP, or it could be the compare at price. It's the higher of the two prices. And so we're showing our customers that they get a discount. If they buy now, they might be able to save $5 versus if they had waited to purchase. Basically, we're showing them they're getting a better price than the usual price. And so here, if I go back up to price, we have a rule where we set it to compare at price only if the compare at price is greater than the price. So here's the compare at price. That's the terminology they use in Shopify for this, the compare at price. That's the higher of the two. So if that is higher than the price, then we're going to submit that one as the price. So just remember that you have to submit the higher of the two prices as the price, and you have to submit the lower of the two prices as the sale price. So sale price, that's like telling Google Merchant Center that, hey, this is on sale. It's discounted just down to 15. And so in this case, the rule states rename sale price to price, but only if the compare at price is greater than price. Otherwise, we'll leave it empty. And if it's left empty, Google Merchant Center will just have the price to work with. All right. So that's all we need to do here. Most of this is set up already. So now I'm going to click Save and Proceed. And then I've already made a channel. If you're doing this for the first time, you'll click Add Channel. You'll select your country. And then you'll select whichever channel you want. You can see there's a lot to choose from. This is part of the benefit of using a product feed management tool, is you can set up feeds for all sorts of different ad platforms. So I'm going to type in Google. I'm going to do Google Shopping. And then I'll put in my domain here. And I'm not going to put in the .myshopify one because this has to match the domain that I put into Merchant Center. All right, and then this is we'll call this a demo channel, and then I'll add channel. And now you can see I'm not in internal fields, which is back here. I'm in channels, which is here, and I'm in the mapping section. So now I'm going to map all those internal fields to the field that belongs to Google Merchant Center. So I've got my ID, and if I click preview, I can see that it's that same format that we set up earlier in internal fields. So I don't even have to touch that one. That one's just ready to go. For the title, I could use Optimize with AI, or I could do something like Combine. Optimize with AI is really nice if you have a lot of products and you don't have time to do a title. In my case, I know exactly what I want, so I'm just going to set it up here. I'll combine title. And then I want to combine, let's say, the size. And I think I'd also like to put unisex so that people know that this is a unisex product. Here I'll put that over an enter text, and then I'll hit confirm. So here's like a static value that I can add. And then let's say I want to put in the color, and maybe I want the color, let's see, if I had the title shoes, unisex, size, something. I think color would go better before that. And then let me just add as a separator a space. I'm going to take a look at it. Yeah, Aquastride water resistant shoes, unisex, midnight black, 9. I think this should say size 9. So I'll put that in front of that. Preview it again. All right, size 9. That looks better. And of course, there's opportunity to put in more keywords here. So if, for example, let's say all of my shoes, I have water resistant, but maybe I put maybe repellent. Water repellent is a phrase that comes up. So I could put in water repellent material. And now I have more keywords here. With Google, the limit is 150 characters. I'm not over that yet, but I'm going to leave that as is for now. Of course, you can add more. All right, so I'm happy with the title. And I'm going to look at the description. That's been assigned from the internal field, so I don't even have to touch that again. I'm just ready to go. The link we already did, so I'm not going to look at that. Image link. This one is important to note. I have my shoes here, and the image link, I'm going to take this and just paste it in here. So this is a black and blue shoe. And let's look at some others. I think I have the same image for everything. Yeah, look, all the variants have the same image. Yeah, that's all the same image. Oh, except for this one. What I want to do here, though, is I want to be sure that I send the correct color per product. So let's go back to the internal fields. Actually, I'm going to save this. Go back to internal fields. And just like our link, this is the variant URL link. I want to double check that our image is also the variant image link. Yes, it is. So I could put in just the image, but that's going to submit the same image, the parent image basically per product. But what I want to do is have the variant image show up for each product. So I'm going to type in variant image. And there's a lot of images here. So I'm going to select this one, but I want to also check that that's the correct image. I want to send the biggest image that I have. So I'm going to click shop products, and I'll just check out all the data for all the products. So if you go to shop products, you can see a list of every item in the store, and you can click into any one item and see all of the attributes that are available for it. So here's my image link, the internal image that I've selected. Let's see, I'm actually going to search for it, image link. So here's the image link, and it's under the internal field section. But I want to check what's in the raw section. I'm going to go down to the input field section and look at all the images that I've got. I've got image 1, 2, 3, and then I have these different sizes. So if I click on, let's say, the medium, that's too small to submit. If I click on image 1, that's large enough to submit. But I want to make sure that I send the correct color. So you can see up here I've got all these different images in different sizes. I can see the pixel count right here. But then I've got this blue one, this red one. Let's do image, variant image. So for this product, the variant image, that's that blue one that I want. I can see that this is the midnight black and teal, and that's the picture that I want of the midnight black and teal. If I click here, midnight black and teal, there's that picture again. So I want to make sure I use this product, and I'm going to use the variant image because that's the one that has, as you can see right here, the biggest dimensions. So the pixels are 1024 by 1024. If I were to select that one, it would be smaller. That one's even smaller. So I'm going to make sure that I always have the variant image. So I'm going to go back to internal fields, image, then I have variant image. So that's correct. All right. So we're good here. All right. So now I'm going to go back to my channels. I'm going to go back to this demo channel that I'm working on. And then I'll go back down to image link. And we assigned image link to the variant image just now. So I'm going to leave that as is. Price is good. Availability is good. Identifier exists. We talked about that for the Google Sheets version. We don't have a barcode, so I'm going to leave that empty. And then for GTIN, we don't have that, so I'm going to leave that empty. But what I'm going to add instead is the brand and the MPN. So I'll do optional field, MPN. And then normally, if you had, I can go back to input fields here. Normally, if you had a SKU or an MPN, you could type that in here. I don't have an MPN or a SKU here, so what I'm going to do is just use the variant ID. You can do that. I'd recommend using a SKU or an MPN if you have it. I don't, so I'm just going to use variant ID for now, and that'll satisfy that requirement of submitting a brand and an MPN number. So I'll click Save. Okay, so now I've got my MPN and my brand submitted. The last thing I want to do is I want to work on this title a little bit more because my title has a bit of a problem here. I don't think people are going to search with the words midnight or teal for this particular shoe, because this shoe is primarily black if I go back to the midnight black and teal. So when someone sees the shopping ad title, they might not care to see that in there. An even better example will be this electric indigo shoe. That's this one, and that's actually, it's blue, but we're using a creative color name here, which is fine and fun to use in the store, but it's not what we want to submit to Google Merchant Center in the title, because people probably aren't ever going to use the phrase electric indigo if they're searching for blue shoes. What we would rather have in the title is just the word blue, because the title counts as the keywords in shopping ads for the most part. So I'm going to come back here, and then I'm going to go to the internal fields, and I'm going to set up a different field here. If I go all the way to the bottom, I'll add an internal field, and I'm going to call it title color, because this is the color that I want to use in the title. And I'm going to assign it to color, but I'm going to update this a little bit. So let's actually use, I'm going to do a rule. So how about we actually do add static value blue if the color includes indigo. And then I'm going to do another one for that black product. So the midnight black, we'll just call it black and teal. So if the color option includes midnight, this is, oh, actually I want to just do, let's just do black. And then if neither of these two rules apply, I want to fall back to just the regular color that we have in the store already. Because all of these other products, like the red one is just red, and that's a normal color name. Bronze, gold, brown, those are normal color names, so we don't need to edit those. So those will get caught by this else rule. So let's preview. Then I've got my midnight teal is transformed to black. And again, this is the title, or the color that I'm going to put in the title. So we have black, and then for electric indigo, that's become blue. And so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to put these words in the title instead. One more thing I want to do here. Some of those were pretty unique colors. So this black and teal one, the shoe is actually, it's really two colors. It's black and teal. And so what I want to submit for the color value to Google Shopping actually contains two colors. And if I go to the help article on this attribute, the color attribute, I can see that there's actually guidance on what to do in my case where I have a single product, but it has multiple colors. And what I can see here is that Google's saying, we'll just put up to 3 colors and just separate them with a backslash. So I'm going to do that so that I can have my data as good as possible. So let's take the color one, and we'll do an only if rule also. And I'm going to do add static value black. I'll do it lowercase, just like Google's article showed. And I'll do only if color option includes that word midnight. And if it doesn't need that rule, or if it doesn't meet that criteria above, we'll just fall back to color. All right, and then I'll do preview. There. Now I can see that's become black and teal. And this is still my unique color, but that's okay. because if I check out this unique color names example, I can see more guidance. So just like we have a creative color name or unique color name, in this example, they have Mango Explosion. We had Electric Indigo. And what Google's saying here is to the title, add a standard color name like red or black, which we've already done. But then to the color attribute, I can still submit that unique color value. So we'll do that here. Yeah, Electric Indigo, that's going to be submitted. I'm actually, just for the sake of being consistent, I want to submit them all in lowercase because that's what Google's showing here. Oh, actually, it seems to not matter whether it's uppercase or lowercase. I'm going to keep it consistent. I'm going to make this uppercase, black, teal, and now they'll be consistent. Just like that. Okay, so we're done here. I'm going to click Save and Proceed. And then I'm going to use that color in our title. And I have two feeds. I'm going to go back to that demo one that we were working on today. Then I'll go to the title, and I'm going to take this color, remove it, and I'm going to add the title color. I'll put it back here, and then I'll preview it. Okay, that looks much better. That would be easier for a shopper to find and to read, particularly for this blue one. That'll be a lot better. All right, so now we're done with this. I'll hit Save and Proceed. And then DataFeedWatch has to process the whole feed. Oh, first I actually have to exclude products. So I want to, in most stores, just exclude things like gift cards. So I'm going to do if the title includes gift card or shipping. Sometimes a shipping setting is set up as a product in Shopify stores. So I'll exclude those if they appear in the feed. And then the last step will be to categorize the products. So most stores have a product type field. We had set this up before. So the product type would be whether it's shoes or socks or shirts. If you have a collection of different products you sell, different categories, you'll have to submit a product category to Google Merchant Center. And so here in DataFeedWatch, it's already suggested for all of my shoes or sneakers that we assign them to this category: apparel and accessories, shoes. And what this is, if I Google product taxonomy, Google has this file that I can use to find all the different product categories that I might be advertising. So shoes, here's what we're selling. Not snowshoes, not costume shoes, but shoes. So that's the product category that we want to use. And so I'll go back to DataFeedWatch. It's already suggested it here, but if it didn't, I could manually assign a category by searching for it. So whether it's shoes or like grocery products, you can find that here. But DataFeedWatch has already auto-suggested with its AI engine what that probably should be. So I'll just select that. And then if I was missing a product category, I could assign a default value optionally. If I don't assign a category, Google Merchant Center will just try to figure it out on its own. I'm happy with this. I'm going to click Save and Proceed. And then I'll go back to this section where I have all the channels. And I can see the one that I was just working on is processing. It might take some time for that to process. So in the meantime, I'm just going to use the other channel that I've set up previously for this example. I'm going to submit it now to Merchant Center. So I'll click this feed URL link. And now that's copied to my clipboard. And if I paste it into a URL or to a new tab, I'll see all of the data that we just set up. So this is the end product of what we've just done. We have the item object that includes the ID, title, description, property, and then all the data that we've just set up. So you can see our improved title here. You can see the brand. Some fields we left empty on purpose are there. So, but this is ready to go. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to go back to Merchant Center and we go back to data sources, and I'll delete that Google Sheets version. Then I'll click Add Product Source, and in this case, I'm going to do add from a file. And I'll just paste the link in. And I'll make sure that these are set to the United States. I could add Canada as well because that's also, they use in Canada the same language as I use in the US, English, so I don't have to have a separate language feed. Again, I want all of those. Then I'll hit continue. And I'll just wait. This will take a bit of time to process because there's more products here. Now we have our product data. I can see the 54 products. And I can see an error down here. Because I've uploaded these with a Google Sheets feed recently, I'll get this error, but that'll go away in time because I removed that Google Sheets data source. So now I'll click escape, escape. Okay, now here's all the products. So you can see that I've got that product ID formatted just the way I needed it formatted, so it matches the product IDs from before. You can see that I have my title with the optimized color in there. Gold, red, brown. There's that blue one that we switched from indigo or electric indigo to blue. And if I click into each of these products, I'll have some issues to work on, but some of them will go away just with time. So, for example, the pending approval, I didn't add a shipping profile for Canada, so I'll have to do that. Some of these things, pending initial review, that will just go away. I still need to add age group and gender to the feed, but I can go and do that later. If you see a red icon, that means that this is preventing the product from showing. If you see the yellow one with the triangle and an exclamation mark in the middle, that means it's just limiting the performance. So I should go back and add these, and I will do that next on this store. But for now, we have our feed set up and ready to go. And all that's left is to wait for this to get approved by Google Merchant Center so that we can show ads for them in Google Shopping ads. So I hope you found this video helpful. I have a lot more resources down below, particularly updates on how to do this. I'm recording this video in January of 2025, and so things might change. So if your interface looks a lot different when you're in Merchant Center, you can check the description for a link to an updated video, which I'll try to keep posting down below as things change with Google Merchant Center. So I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video. Thank you for watching, and good luck advertising.